Good evening, everyone. How you going? How you doing, Coach?
Man, I am doing wonderful. I am doing wonderful. It's been a while since we have reversed the conversation to you taking the lead on us. It feels like it's been a while. How about you?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes. So I'm excited about tonight's talk, though.
Yeah, we got a good one tonight. Most time people talk about people not telling the truth, but they forget about though there are some things that we have going on that are truths that no one wants to hear. There's some things that it's just like, did they really just say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be an impactful talk that we're going to have tonight.
I was telling somebody lately, I said life is a series of discoveries. And until you discover the truth, it could be the area you're most destroyed in or find yourself dealing with consequences. And there are times, I don't know about you, but there are times where you could simply say, I just didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know I should have. I didn't know. And so sometimes we go off thinking, boy, life is so unfair, right?
Right.
But the truth is, you could have discovered something I hadn't discovered.
That's right. I mean, and guess what? A different way of saying that is you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
because you don't know. You know?
Which is why the Bible says, study to show yourself approved. Do the work. And not some people think that's only for the scriptural text. But study to show yourself approved. So I'm going to play with the scripture here. So you don't be a person who's destroyed. Because the Bible says watch this, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So not knowing has a cost. Studying equips you to have an awareness which limits your ability to limit your possibility of being affected by what you don't know.
That's right.
I'm excited.
Yeah. And, as I was reading, looking over our texts and everything for tonight, and I was looking at your book, I thought about the battlefield of your mind.
Yeah.
Those things that are going on in your mind. And sometimes we just get away with those things. And then when someone, brings it to our forefront and, mentions something to you, you want to lose it, get mad or whatever. But the truth will set you free.
The truth will set you free, ladies and gentlemen. It sure will. And so here's the deal. I think you shouldn't run from difficult conversations. I think you shouldn't run from trying to discover what you don't know, right? Because here's the deal, Coach DeBorah, the reality of it is someone is succeeding where I'm failing. Someone has figured out mastery. Someone has captured truth that I'm being challenged with. And so tonight we're going to talk about some things. And if people will grab a hold of what we share, it could make a difference.
That's right. Yeah, so we really want you to listen, take heed to what we're going to be talking about tonight, because it can help you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like I said, we don't know what's going on. We don't want to hear the truth. We don't have anybody in our lives that hold us accountable for certain things.
Yeah.
And so that way we just, we're not getting what we need. We have Dan Smith here online. He says the truth will set you free is so correct. Yeah, that's right.
I totally agree with him. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching today, you want to dive into our talk, because we're talking today about important truths no one wants to hear. Truths that very few people would embrace, but hey, you want to know what you need to know. Okay?
That's right. That's right. We're going to get started, but before we do that, I want to read this quote that you had mentioned by Maya Angelou.
Yeah.
Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, you do better.
So hey, I'm going to use what I know. And then when I discover better, Jason, based in Canada, who's listening, when I discover better, I'm going to do better. Somebody ought to shout that right now. Go to bed tonight. What I'm going to use what I know. I love it. I'm going to use what I know to the fullest. And when I discover better, I'm going to do better. Man, what a way to live.
That's right. Wow. How are you, Pastor Basin? Thank you for tuning in. Yes, we're going to get started with this because we don't want you to miss any of it. We don't want to hold you too long, but this is something that you need here tonight. First of all, Coach, I believe that consistency matters more than intensity.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
So, it's better to start with the routine. It's easy, practical, enjoyable. And as I get into that, hey, I'm going to do it consistently. But if I try to start too hard, am I going to stop? What are your thoughts?
A lot of people love intensity. But what you just shared was so important, because intensity is impressive at the onset. But we've all met people at the beginning of the month, with the first month, at the beginning of the month, at any new year, people are intense at the gym. Oh my God, I'm gonna take it. Oh man, I'm going in. I'm gonna start working out. And so that's intense, Then you have those people, as believers. I love it when I meet somebody who's a young believer and they're like, oh man, I just can't turn this Bible down. I mean, listen, man, I'm just reading my Bible in the morning. I'm reading it at lunch. I'm reading it at night. I'm reading it in traffic. People in the back of me blowing the horn. Pom, pom, pom. You're like, hey man, I'm reading the word, bro. I'm reading the word. And so you're all pumped. You're all excited. You're intense, man. You're sitting down in front of the church. You're taking notes. It's the first month. The second month, I forgot my notebook in the car, but I brought my Bible. The third month, I left my Bible and my notebook at home. Oh, the fifth month, well, I'm serving, so I don't actually have to bring a Bible or a notebook. And it's amazing that when you discover the truth that needs to be applied, it's consistency that actually wins the race, not intensity. And so that's a hard pill to swallow, though, because a lot of people feel as though, hey, I've been going to the gym, Coach DeBorah, and I go to the gym with the consistency mindset, right?
Right.
Even my little walk, I got my little brisk walk, and people be like, hey man, speed it up. Hey man, I'll be here when the dust settles. Okay?
That's right. They try to show out.
Yeah, they try to show. Hey, I watch guys come in the gym, Coach DeBorah. I'm talking about they making that treadmill squeal. I'm like, boom, boom. They running on that thing like they're running up, like it's the 100 dash, it's sprinting. And everybody's like, man, that dude is incredible. But we only see that dude for 2 weeks. Yep. I've been in the gym now for 4 years, but I've only seen that dude for 2 weeks. And the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, it's it's that intensity is actually is very difficult to maintain intensity, but consistency of a rhythm, if discovered, can actually allow you to, like, rather than try to run a marathon too fast, which you understand this is a long run. This is a long run. Effective living is a long run. Building your best life is for the long haul. And so what you want is you want consistency. You want if you're watching today, put that in the comment section. I want consistency. I want consistency in my marriage. I want consistency with my finances. I want consistency in my faith. I want consistency in every area of my life. That's the goal to get better with age. What do you think?
Oh, it most definitely is. And, people, I always say that things start from up here and comes down, dwindles down. So when we talk about consistency, we're talking about on an individual basis. But for the most part of our lives, we do things in groups. So we work in groups, we go to church, whatever. So we have leaders. Leadership and consistency go hand in hand, because a good leader is consistent.
Yes.
It's nothing worse than having something and you get all hyped up about it, like, we're going to have a building fund. We're going to build this new building. And you get all the members hyped and everything. And they doing all these fundraisers, and you do that for 6 months. And then you don't hear anything. It's like, okay, what happened?
Yeah.
So the next time you say you're going to have a building fund, you're not going to get the same, intensity from people.
Yeah. And the challenge then is you're calling people aren't serious. In children's ministry, they're not serious. In volunteering, they're not serious. Oh my goodness, people aren't serious. Well, the challenge is you want to build a healthy environment that is centered around, you want to build a healthy environment that is centered around pacing. And I believe pacing is attached. Pacing is attached to consistency.
All right.
Okay? All right. Pacing is attached to consistency. I have discovered you don't have to be the smartest in the room.
That's right.
But boy, even if you're the dumbest kid in the class at the beginning of the school year, but if you're learning every day something the teacher's teaching, by the end of the school year, you'll probably be in the top 5, because most students aren't learning something every day.
That's right.
Consistently committing. Don't be intense. Just the first week of school, you got your new book, you got your little ruler, and you got your pencil, and you're underlining everything, and you're looking all good. And then the third week of school, the second month of school, you don't even have your notebook, you don't have a pencil. By Christmas time, you missing classes and stuff.
Nope. You don't have that same intensity. You just not, and just like you said that about, being smart. At a quote here, it says, success isn't always about greatness. Wow. It's about consistency. Yeah. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come.
Come on. So here's the deal. So Jason, you got to teach your children. I'm glad you're eager, motivated, and want to go all in. Mm-hmm. But what I want to see you do is I want you to be like the water that's dripping off the mountaintop. Drip, drip. If that water keep dripping, that water will break rock. That water will bow a hole. Yeah. The drip of a water consistently dropping on rock will pierce a hole in it. That's the power of consistency. So I'm okay with intensity. But for the long haul, Vito, if you want to win, be consistent. Okay? Somebody said, oh my Lord. I have met people, oh my goodness, coach, I'm reading 3 books a month. All right? They started off at the beginning of the year, I'm going to read 3 books a month. I'm going to read 4 books a month. And then by April, hey man, how's your reading coming along? Well, I'm really busy, bro. I got a whole lot going on.
That's right. Yes. So we want to be and then that's finding excuses too. And if you just joined us, we're talking about these 6 important truths that are hard to hear. We don't want
Yeah.
to hear them because they hit home. Because, you
Yeah.
know, we may pretend we don't realize what's going on, but they hit home.
Yeah. Let me ask our viewing audience, what do you find being the thing that keeps you from being consistent? If consistency is more important than intensity, what do you find to be the thing that's keeping you back from being consistency? Write it in the comment section. I'm very interested because, you know, everyone's talking and accepting the fact that consistency is important, but let's talk about what is it that keeps us back from being consistent. Who will be honest with us today and share what do you feel has been keeping you? Oh my goodness, look at this one. Wow. Wow.
Aaron, familiarity. So you get familiar with things, and so you just oh well, can't do that one today.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that one. Boy, is familiarity one of them. Look at this one.
Yeah, distractions. Thank you, Jason Mason. Distractions. You got discipline.
Yeah, yeah.
Boredom with outcome. Thank you, Jocelyn.
Yeah,
boredom with outcome.
And here's the deal. Here's the deal. You know what I found to be true? The things that are the most important in life, it's not about feeling. And intensity has a lot to do with feeling. I didn't feel like going to the gym today. I didn't feel like eating healthy today. I didn't feel like getting up. I didn't feel like reading. And so, you know, the whole element of allowing yourself to live in a level of discipline, a high level of engagement where it's not about, here's the deal, the popularity about activity. Mm-hmm. It's not about how you feel about it. Popularity is where everybody's doing it. And then when everybody's not doing it, I'm not doing it anymore. Right?
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember, you know, during the pandemic, oh my Lord, there was Zooms and virtual webinars, and they were just coming out of the woodworks, right? And then look at churches, man. All the churches started having what they call virtual ministry. Right. And then the pandemic subsided and went that way, and it just moved off. And then you start seeing virtual experiences just sort of disappear. And just virtual. And virtual hasn't gone nowhere. The truth is, virtual is now, and virtual is the future.
That's right.
Virtual still is the future. And so there are a lot of people, you know, when crisis causes you to change, you're in the gym. When crisis causes you to change, you get that second job and you start saving that money. But you don't have to wait for a crisis. You could just be practicing the healthy behavior consistently over time. And when changes occur, there were churches I knew that said their virtual space was already solid 5 years prior to the pandemic. Okay. Bishop T.D. Jakes had a virtual pastor 5-6 years earlier. A virtual pastor literally had all of the mechanisms set up for virtual giving and communication with the audience and all that stuff. So when the pandemic shut down everybody, it wasn't a crisis. You got to read the signs and identify, I just need to be consistent about this because it's necessary for success.
Yeah, we have to be consistent. That's a great attribute to have 24/7. Like you say, you don't wait. That's something that you build in and you work towards it and you do it. Like I was reading, I think it was one of my devotionals where this man said that he wanted to start taking care of himself, like working out or whatever. But what he did was he would just walk to the gym and walk back.
That's a good start.
Walk to the gym and walk back. And they couldn't understand, well, what is he doing? And he kept doing this for like a couple months.
Yeah.
He said he was getting consistent going.
Come on.
When he got the consistency of I'm going to get up, I'm going to the gym, then he began to work out.
Yeah. I like that. It's just, I'm going to start even though it's a small start.
All right.
Hey, and I'm going to be consistent with whatever level of start. I was practicing reading more frequently this year, and I got a couple books here. And Coach Jeb, I went out on my porch this evening, and I was like, if I only read one page a day, read. Mm-hmm. You know, a paperback too. I'm going back to old school. I'm like, underline, highlight, even if it's one page. Take some time, read. And I've been on the book for a bit, a couple of books I'm going through, but I'm like, this is a very good, healthy practice.
That's right.
I'm going to keep it alive, even when I'm busy, even when I can't spend time to read a whole chapter. Some people think, I read the whole book today. I read the whole book today.
Is that the only book you go to read for the year?
Is it going to be the only book you read for the year? It's amazing. I picked up this statement and I found that consistency has been a gift of mine. So I love consistency. I love the whole thing because I've never been the smartest kid in the room. Okay. But what gets me to the top and what has kept me around for a long time is the chip. Every day, just chip. Because what I found out is the people who are 10 times smarter than me, they're all into intensity. They're all into intensity. Chip. So watch this, miss. Watch this, Coach DeBorah. Watch this. They were smart in elementary school. I was still behind. They were smart in middle school. I was still behind. They were smart in high school. I was still behind. They were smart even in college and got a degree. I was still behind. And then they stopped reading after college. Come on. They stopped continual education after college. And now here's the deal. They've been out of college for 20 years, and I still been chipping.
All right, I got you.
And they're like, hey, man, how does he know that I went to college and they taught me that years ago? And how come let me chip. And ladies and gentlemen, that works in every area of your life. Faith, family, finance, fitness, and front. I was talking to a guy a couple of weeks ago, and he says, Miller, I don't know how come you don't even live in the Bahamas, but when you come, people are they're like, people will lend you their car, they'll let you stay at their house. How come? I said, because I consistently stay in touch.
Yeah.
I may have been gone for 20 years, but every week I'm still talking to my people like I'm present. I'm still engaging in business on the island. So that when I show up, it's not he came out of nowhere and he's trying to request a level of service he wasn't consistently keeping connected. It's like maintaining the bridge. If you know you're gonna cross the bridge, make sure you're maintaining the bridge. You just never know when you got to go back across.
You never know. You never know. That's right. So y'all remember, you have to be consistent. That is a good trait to have. And so when someone calls you out on it, coach, you started out at the gym and I hadn't seen you in a week. You've been sick, bro. I mean, don't get mad. Don't get mad. No. Look at me. I don't need to go every week. No, you don't get mad.
Yeah. Everybody needs someone to call them, and I think we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute.
Yeah. But I was thinking about too, respecting yourself. You can't expect someone to treat you one way, but you treat yourself a different type way. So you see people see you, and you allow people to walk all over you. You never tell people no. It's just, you find yourself letting people mistreat you or whatever. So then why should they treat you any differently? If you're gonna not love yourself, not treat yourself right, disrespect yourself, then why should you want someone else to do it?
This is so important, Coach DeBorah. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the harsh truths is that, we need to get better at treating ourselves right. Because how we treat ourselves is how people treat us. Man, how we treat ourselves. And a lot of people don't treat themselves right. In the truth be told, a lot of people don't treat themselves right.
That's right.
I just want people to respect me. But you ain't respecting you. Hello? Hey? They treat me any kind of way. You're treating yourself any kind of way. Hello? They won't give me a chance. You haven't given yourself a chance.
I just can't move up in this company. I don't know what it is. I've been here for 20 years. I've been in the same position.
Yeah.
Okay, but you always come to work late.
Hey.
You never contribute to the conversations.
Well,
Your assignment's late.
yeah.
You'll sit there with an attitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why you want them to treat you different?
Yeah. Right. 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 You know, the challenge here is you got to know, hey, listen, it starts with me. It doesn't start with the boss. It doesn't start with the neighbor. It doesn't start, with the teacher in the front of the room. It starts with me. If I want to be treated right in this world, let me first start showing up right. Let me start being right. Let me start making sure that I understand the law of reciprocity still applies to behavior. What I put out, I'm going to get back. And so it starts with me. Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal. A lot of people weren't taught that when we were young. Melissa, a lot of people weren't taught it. Karen, a lot of people weren't taught it. Jason, they weren't taught. They weren't taught to make sure that, you're punctual. Make sure that, like you mentioned, when you show up in a meeting, you add value to the meeting. And then here's the deal. It's not about comparison. My spiritual dad told me years ago, Coach Deborah, you'll like this. He said, be so good at what you do that you can't be ignored. Be so good at what you do that you can't be ignored. Now, here's the deal, and that's in every area.
That's right.
Man, that's in every area. If you're going to smile, smile. Come on. If you're going to love. If you're going to dance. If you're going to, if you're going to be a part, be a part.
That's right. Too, I was thinking about the way you treat yourself, and you want someone else to treat you that way too. You got to think about, it goes back to me, consistency. I have to consistently love myself. To show that I love myself. So I take care of myself. I'm eating right. I'm exercising. I'm having fun. I forgive myself.
Yep.
I'm so stupid. I made this big mistake yesterday. Why I'm going to call myself stupid?
Yeah.
Man, if you call me that, I want to fight.
Come on, right? I wondered about that, but I can call myself stupid. The more you call yourself stupid, the more is someone else is inclined to call you stupid too.
Yeah.
Right? And then maybe they may not even call you stupid directly. They start treating you like you're stupid.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Right? And so really it's important for us to pay attention. My behavior matters. To me, how I show up, to me, it really, really matters.
Yeah. It's just like I often say, like the bullies, people bully. Why are they bullying you? Well, first of all, they're not nice people. However, you will find that most times it's somebody that when they see them, they got the head down.
Yep.
They won't look at them. They looking the other way.
Yep.
Their self-esteem is low. So, okay, they don't care about themselves. They don't know themselves. Oh, I can get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one I'm gonna get right there.
Do you know it's a known fact? When you take care of yourself, people really they deal with you differently. Mm-hmm. If you're taking care of your body, people deal. If you're managing your home space, people will deal with it differently. If you're the type of person who's managing your money, they won't be reckless on how they deal with your money. You know what I'm saying? If you're that kind of person, your relationship with God is pure and genuine, and you have set yourself up in a healthy way, people will respect what you respect when it comes to your life.
All right.
And if you're around some people who don't get it, even though you've been showing the behaviors that one should be respected, then sometimes we got to teach people to respect us. You say, hey, look how I treat me. When my son lived with me, I used to say to him, I say, hey, look around this room. Look around the house. Look around the house. Your room doesn't represent the house. Look around the house. Okay? Now, so make sure I'm helping you. I'm treating it right. Right? So I'm going to need you to treat it right. Because it starts with you, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. We just, we just treat ourselves a certain type way, and we just don't think about it. Or sometimes we think about it, but that's just like, I know your personality. So wherever you go, you are coach, Ricardo Miller, Pastor Ricardo Miller. So you don't go somewhere where you know the guys, might be hanging on the corner to the barber shop, and you sit there and letting out all these curse words or whatever, and you're being yourself. But if you went in there and you were saying certain words, then they would think, oh, I can just say anything. But probably now they see, oh, hey, straighten up. Here comes Pastor Miller. You know, they're going to respect you because you're all respectful and you respect yourself.
I see it all the time. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about important truths no one likes to hear. But the truth of the matter is, number 2 is people treat you the way you treat yourself. The way you treat yourself. Elevate how you treat yourself. Let me tell you something. When you start going to nicer restaurants, when you go to a restaurant that is substandard, that is not treating you right, you know what? You either call them up to the next level or you choose not to go back there.
That's right. Yep.
You know?
Yes. And thank you, Melissa. Melissa says, be the person of how you want to be treated. And that's right.
Yeah. I like that.
It's great stuff. Now, another one of the things that people don't like to hear is, woe is me. I don't know. I'm just always broke.
Yeah.
I can't pay my bills.
Yeah.
I need a promotion. I can't get a promotion. Okay, you're whining.
Yeah.
You're responsible for you. Save yourself. Don't look for somebody else to do it. What do you think about that? People just they want you to give them the world. They don't want to try and do anything.
One of the things I believe is someone is succeeding in the environment that you're in, even though you're claiming that you can succeed, you could succeed just like them.
Yeah.
But they're not waiting for someone to save them. They've chosen to step up to the plate and claim what's rightfully theirs. You've got to go ahead and claim what's rightfully yours. Somebody says, there was a time where in caveman days, if you didn't go out and kill something you didn't eat, you'll starve.
Right.
In the early farming and fishing industry days, where when you caught fish, you had to sell the fish the same day because there weren't no ice in the refrigerator. So if you couldn't sell, your fish go bad. You got to make that fish sell. So there comes a time in your life you just realize someone is going to win. Someone is going to do well. I got to get up every day and realize nobody's coming to save me. This is on me. If my money is funny, I got to take responsibility of getting my money back in track. As a matter of fact, as much as we rely on doctors and the hospital and the medical industry, it's still important for you to do your due diligence and know the facts.
That's right.
You still got to do your due diligence and do what they suggest in that of exercising and what you eat, and then studying sometimes to ask them the difficult questions, because oftentimes it is the person who've done their homework, who know what they're talking about from a client standpoint, who sits in the doctor's office, who gets the better service. You just can't expect better service. You got to now get to the point where you demand better service by being the kind of person people don't play with. Because here's the deal. We live in a world today. If some people can get away with it, guess what? They'll get away with it.
Yes, without a problem.
Yeah. And so I love the fact that the personal responsibility message is becoming a stronger message that people are learning to have to accept. And then there are people who don't like that message. Personal responsibility. The whole concept, no one's coming to save you, is real. Okay? And I'm going to blame the government. Guess what? You're not going to have an incredible life if you're just waiting on the government. Okay? Well, some of my family needs to do better, because some of my family, they made it well. Oh, my Lord, Coach DeBorah, I have family members who are doing great, but none of them is doing anything for me, None of them is doing anything for me. You know what? Oh, man. I'm telling you, I had to tell myself, listen, if no family member ever bought my book, I'm still going to the top and selling books. If no family member ever follow my platform is still going to be built. You see what I'm saying? I mean, the truth of the matter is nobody owes you anything. Nobody got to do anything for me. And when somebody does, I'm grateful. And that's who you need to be. Well, nobody call and check up on me. Then here's the deal. Just take care of you. Take care of you. Feel good about having taken care of you. And then render what you want back to someone else. Call someone. Call someone and check. And there's a lady, an incredible lady over at our church. Lately, the enemy has just been giving her massive attacks. She's just going through a bunch of stuff. But you know what I love about her? She picks up the phone and she'll call people. Hey, how are you doing? I hadn't seen you around or whatever. I want to pray for you. I'm like, how are you doing? Yeah, just came from the hospital. You just came from the hospital, but you calling me? Yeah, because that's the kind of person I am. So here's the deal. A person like that will always have a level of favor and blessing coming their way because they're not waiting for someone to do for them. They're prepared to do for themselves and they're prepared to do as much as they can for others, which is kingdom. That's biblical.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you have to do that. And, people, they want to sit around and, well, look, Ricardo, he's doing so much better than us. Yeah. He don't send us any money.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you say, Ricardo, I see you're doing well. Yeah. Is there any tips that you can give me?
Man, I love people like that who give me calls like that versus, hey, what's this? Yeah, I see you fill up your car. One dude, this is Herb Ford. This is real talk right here. This guy did this to me for real. Okay, people? This is a real story right here. I've been attempting to go to Israel 3 times. Herb Ford, oh man. Herb Ford, I was attempting to go to Israel 3 times. The first time I was in Bible college, Christian Life College, and Jason Basin, Christian Life. You went to Christian Life College in the Bahamas. I was in seminary. I was in Christian. So Herb, I didn't graduate, but I did about 2 years in there, right? I was at Christian Life College, and the school was going to Israel. And if you're in the Bahamas, you're familiar with ASU. Okay, that's where people collectively put their money together, and every week somebody gets the pool of money. So I put my money inside of this pool of money that I'm supposed to get. And I remember going to class, the Bible college, Herb Ford, and I told the guy sitting next to me, yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm paying for my trip to Israel tonight when class is done. And he says, man, you paying already? It's early. I said, yeah, man, I'm going to pay. He said, you know what? Hey, put 50% on my payment. I didn't get anything down yet. I'll pay off your balance, and then you don't have to worry about it. So in other words, I split my money. Yeah, I split my money. You could tell I wasn't a smart young guy at that time to believe somebody in Bible college. He was even a pastor at the time. I wasn't a pastor. I was just a minister. I wasn't even an official minister yet. I just loved the Lord and thought I was like 20 years old. This is like 27 years ago. And so I'm like, okay. You gonna pay? He said, I'll pay the difference. You split the money in half, and I'll pay the difference. Coach DeBorah, Pastor Herb Ford, this happened for real. Let me tell you something. I remember getting the call, and they said, brother, you got to pay your balance before such and such date, or you're going to lose. I was like, what you mean? The brother's supposed to pay for me. Pastor such and such say he's going to pay for me. Oh, Miller, I'm going to pay for you. Hey, man, and I wasn't trying to go street. I wasn't trying to go rogue on the fella. I was trying to be humble and reserved and not be aggressive because I was from the street. I could have busted him in his head and cut his tire and stuff, but I didn't want to go there, right? And so I said, hey, man, long story short, this dude went to Israel, and I didn't get to go. I lost my money. Actually, I lost a big portion of my money when I put down. And then here's the deal. When they went to Israel, the students who all went to Israel, he was one of the students, they made him the spokesperson for the Israel trip. Wow. Herb Ford, they made this dude, and what's this? So in the Bahamas, he went to Israel in the newspaper. They have him in the newspaper as the spokesperson and the news talking about the Israel experience. Man, oh man, he came back, he apologized. Hey man, I'm gonna pay you in payments. I'm gonna pay you in payments and give you your money back. He gave me like $100 at one time, and I never seen him anymore. That was my first time trying to go to Israel. So Herb Ford says everybody ain't kingdom. Ain't that the truth?
That's right.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to, do what you have to do for yourself.
Yeah.
If your finances jacked up, then what do you got to do? Sit down and say, hey, well, what's the problem? Am I overspending? Is it that I don't have a budget? Is it that I need to get me a side gig? What is the problem? Do I need a financial coach? Figure out what it is.
Correct.
Don't just say, oh, nobody's trying to help me. Nobody's trying to help me.
That cry, nobody is wanting to help me is really not a good one to turn to in your pursuit to get out of your rut. If you find yourself in a difficult place, try this. Do what you can with what you have.
That's right.
Try capitalize on what you have. Years ago, I told a guy who was not in a good place, and he said, "Man, I'm not in a good place. Needed a job and everything." I said, "Hey, man, you got a little car?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Go deliver pizza." "Oh man, I gotta do." I said, "Bro, you got food gotta go on the table, man." I said, "Listen," I said, "Leave my office today." It was 11 o'clock, and he listened. That dude owns a house now and paid off cars. I saw him the other day driving a brand new Lexus and everything. But I remember when he was down on his luck, and he went ahead that day. He was in my office about 11:30. By 5 o'clock, he was delivering pizza that night because them pizza joints, they hire you on the spot sometimes, right?
Right.
So he was working and he was making $100 a night delivering pizza. Before you knew it, he got a real job that he wanted. And then before you know it, he was delivering pizza and doing his other job. And now it could have been easily 12, 15 years ago. And this dude is on point, killing it financially because he wasn't afraid to roll up his sleeve and says, "You know what? Use what you got to get to where you're trying to go." I totally agree with you, Herb Ford. Do Uber. Makes a few $100s a night.
That's right. Do what you got to do to make it. You can't, think you're too good to do something or whatever. I was a single mom. I worked 2 jobs for years and years and years and years.
Yep.
I did what I had to do. It wasn't no shame in my game.
Come on. But here's the deal. That's the people who make it in this world. It's the people who make it in the world who decided, I'm going to roll up my sleeve and make life work for me. And then life is going to turn around and reward you for having disciplined yourself to do the work. You got to be willing to do the work. What's our next point?
Yeah. Well, we have all types of problems if everything go wrong. But when you look and you stop and think about it, this is wrong and that's wrong. What do all these things have in common? It's you. You can't keep friends. You can't stay on a job. You don't get along with your family. You don't respect people. You're not trustworthy. But it's all you.
Wow. That whole concept of everywhere I go, people treat me wrong. The last all 5 of the last relationship guys I dated, a lady might say, they just, oh my goodness, these men aren't good. Could it be that you dated 5 guys and all the 5 guys saying the same thing, but you claiming the guys aren't good? Or you're saying, okay, in the Bahamas, we say it like this, Herb Ford. We say it like this, Melissa and Jason and Keller. We say, if everywhere you go, you smelling something, you need to check yourself.
All right.
If everywhere you go, you smell something, you better check your shoes, check something, man. You probably might have sit on something. So here's the only thing all of your problems have in common is you. At some point, you got to have that wake-up deal. Why is it that everywhere, every church I go to, that's how they treat me? Why is it that every neighborhood I go to, why is it that every job I go to, this is how they treat me? And we're talking, hey, in common. What's in common? Now, that's the negative. Now, I know there are people who are out there who walk in favor. There are people out there who knows. Listen, man, I was reading this not so long ago. I'm going to paraphrase the story, Coach Deborah. The guy, this is such a great story, man. Guy, this old man was sitting at the gate of a little small town, and this Visitor came in and says, hey, I just moved from another town and I'm coming here. And he says, how is this town? How is this town? And the old man says, how was the town you came from? He said, man, the town I came from, they were selfish people. Their people had no interest in others. I just didn't like that town. He said, well, you'll find that this is the same type of town you just came from. So the guy chose, I guess I'm not going to stay there. Long story short, a couple of days later, some kids was watching the old man again like they were doing the other day. And he saw another guy comes in. He said, hey, man, what kind of town is this? And the old man said, what kind of town is it that you just came from? He said, man, I just came from the best town ever. I really didn't want to leave, but I had to leave. And so I'm really excited about going into a new town. He said, guess what? You're going to find that this town is just like the one you left. There are some amazing people here, and you're not going to want to leave. Ain't that the truth?
Yes.
Ain't that the truth?
Yes, it is.
So, everywhere I move, it's just disgusting. Everybody I meet, these people are just not fair. People today, everybody's all messed up.
Yes. I was trying to read this comment. See, I learned my lesson on helping people. I paid for their cruise and was told they will pay me back. That's been 8 years. I had not received it yet.
I thought I was the only one that happened to. I thought I was the only one. So Deacon Dan, you know exactly what I'm talking about when you choose. So now here's the deal. People often wonder why you're so comfortable in being sensitive to releasing funds later. I have no problem being a blessing. I have no problem sowing a seed. But you got to watch it for those people who are bad ground. Some people are just not good soil, And the Bible says you will know them by their fruits. Come on, somebody.
That's right.
You'll know them by their fruits.
Yep. Well, that's just like you talk about these people and what do they have in common. There's certain things that the Lord just doesn't like. I was thinking about in Proverbs, I think I put it in my book, about one thing he doesn't like is liars.
Yes.
So is it that, what's going on? People don't trust you. Yep. They won't, loan you money. They won't do anything. Is it you? And this, is in Proverbs 6:16-19, as well as Proverbs 12:22. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in those who tell the truth. So you're bringing things on yourself. It's the way you live, the way you carry yourself. It's look in the mirror. It is you. You have to do better. You want better, you need to do better. You want to receive better, you got to do better. So, I just tell y'all, don't be loaning any money though. If you don't have your deal. It's bad. Sometimes you try to help people on the flip side of that, and then people will call you out and say things that makes no sense. Yeah. Now, I am not rich, but my father is rich, and I'm not complaining. I'm fine.
Right.
But I go to, I try to hear his voice. I go to McDonald's one day and to take my grandkids, and the Spirit just said, pay for the person behind you. Then look to see who it was. I didn't people were in the car. So I told the young man when I got to the window, he was young. I said, I want to pay for the car behind me. Well, he didn't know what to do. So he went to get the manager. So then the manager, he says, he took care of it. Then when I got to the window to pick up my food, he said, oh, yeah, you Miss Rich Lady.
What?
Why would you say that?
Wow. Yeah, but there's something, I have that on my list to do in a number of different places and ways. I have certain amount that I'm like, one day I'm going to tip this amount. Mm-hmm. Like I told myself, I want to tip what a person's salary that week is. I just want to tip it right now. That's on my bucket list, Right. Like you said, I want to pay for the person behind me groceries. I just want to pay for the person, for the lunch deal. And so I have a list of them that I'm working on. And so we did some work with the Effective Living book. I'm going to send you a copy, Coach Deborah, because what we did with the new edition of the Effective Living book, we put down in the back a bucket list for faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. 5 separate areas. Because
right.
a lot of people, yes, you have a bucket list, but your bucket list could be limited to thinking only fun experiences.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you may want to have a bucket list, I'm teaching, have a bucket list for health, have a bucket list for finances, have a bucket list for faith. You know, some people, I've never read the entire Bible in a year. Put that on your bucket list.
Yes, please.
You know? Somebody say, I've never been on a 21-day fast. Put that on your bucket list. You know, that's in regards to faith, and so forth. But you'll be amazed how and what we can do if we would just decide to be what we believe the world needs to be. And that is generous and ambitious and very comfortable with accepting that if nobody does anything for me, I'm going to still be okay. God is my Heavenly Father. And I'm willing to do the work just as a responsible person should.
Right. Yes. And, along with that, I want to go into our next area. It's about building generational wealth. You know, when we learn or we inherit ways of gaining wealth, we shouldn't die and take that knowledge with us. We should want, so you should want RJ and I should want my kids, Grace, to have more than we have.
Correct.
And then they should want their kids to have more than they have. We don't want to just, leave them a will. We want to leave them something with that. So when you build your generational wealth, you got to learn and teach our kids and pass that down.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't want to hear that. Well, I had to get mine the hard way. They going to have to do the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And, when we think about passing it down, ladies and gentlemen, I want to pass something down to Grace. I want to pass something down to RJ. But you must make sure that they understand the behavior that got you to acquire what they are about to receive.
Yes.
It's because what happens is second generational wealth oftentimes leaks itself away. It's sort of like disappears because somebody got it who didn't value it. Somebody got it who didn't understand the mindset for maintaining and retaining and being able to hold it enough and multiply it so that you can have the ability to enjoy it, but now you can also pass it on. And so that's a major part of wealth transfer. It's not only about being prepared to receive what's coming to you, is being a good steward to pass it on to who's next, but then making sure who's next understand that they need to prepare those people as well to maintain and sustain that which they've acquired. You know the interesting thing about passing on, Coach DeBorah, the Bible says that Moses passed on that anointing. Moses passed it on, his work, to Joshua. So Moses is dead. Joshua had something he was able to receive. But the Bible says when Joshua died, the generation after Joshua didn't know God. The generation after Joshua didn't know God. Somewhere along the line, somebody chose not to take the time to pass on the behaviors, the practices, the mindsets, the culture, the things that got you here that you're so proud of,
Right. Yeah, you have to do that as well. You have to not only teach them the importance and how to be a good steward, but you also have to teach them, okay, and these are the mistakes I made along the way. If I had not made these mistakes, this is where we would be, because, I didn't have anyone to teach me about, well, I won't say I didn't have anybody, but my parents, they didn't know about credit and credit cards and all this stuff. So when I was getting credit cards, I thought, hey, I have arrived. I got myself in trouble. Those things are the devil. So, I know how to pass that on to my kids. You don't want those credit cards. You need 1 or 2 in your pocket, emergencies only. If you use them, pay off the balance at the end of the month. But, but we just have to, learn and teach them all of it, not just part of it. But like you say, it's very, very important. It's just like when you give your kids that car that you had and it's about 10, 15 years old, and they have fast food wrappers everywhere, they never wash it or whatever, and you try to tell them you got to keep the car clean, whatever.
Come on, man.
You let them go buy one they're paying for.
Yeah.
Then they want to take care of it.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Yeah, we must teach the principles that we receive to those who are wanting what we've acquired.
That's right. That's so important.
Yeah. Our last point.
That's right. Now, this is a good one.
Yep.
And so many people fail at this. And to me, this is the number one right here.
Yeah.
And that's being able to handle criticism.
Wow.
Because what you may be taking as criticism is really feedback. Someone's trying to help you. And everybody that says something to you, they're not trying to hurt you. A lot of times they see something in you that you don't even see, and they're trying to assist you.
Yeah. I found when I was a teenager, I had a problem with this right here. Oh man, any form of correction was considered criticism, which was considered you're being mean and not nice. And now at this age, I understand that, listen, eat the watermelon, spit out the seed. It's learning how, even if a person isn't talking right, if there's truth in what is being said, learn to extract. Years ago, Coach DeBorah, I was at a conference. I was one of the workshop speakers praying about being a keynote speaker at this major conference. And there was a guy who was the keynote speaker that year. All of us were having lunch, and we were sitting down at this long table at a restaurant, and he was talking, and he had been on Shark Tank, and he had done some other things. And I thought, boy, I want to talk to this guy and find out from him, what can I do to take my platform to the next level? And Coach DeBorah, I reached out at the table, and I said, hey, man, could you share a couple of pointers for me to, my space? You've seen me around a little bit. Any suggestion? He looked at me, kept on talking. Well, I wasn't cool with that. So I tried to get his attention again. He looked at me and kept on talking. Well, I'm from Soldier Road. I'm from the Bahamas. And I got a little street in me. I had to get his attention. Hey, bro. Hey, are you ignoring me? Anyhow, long story short, Coach DeBorah, he turned and looked at me, and just in a very derogatory way, strong way, very just little, it was harsh. But he said something. So he said, man, Ricardo, this. And he threw out 5 points. But he said it, and then he turned around and kept on talking. And I'm telling you, I don't know if you watched The Matrix, but I felt like I supernaturally, with the help of God, grabbed 3 of those points. I grabbed the whole of the points because I heard them. I can remember all 5. To this day, I still remember 3 of them. And I grabbed a hold of 3 of them. Coach DeBorah, God is my witness to this. Those 3 points became the foundational principles for me shifting my platform. Years later, I was the keynote speaker at that same conference. And that guy follows me online now. And he said, man, bro, you turned your platform around big time. And I said, a lot of what you said to me at that dinner table was, he said, man, I don't remember what I said to you. Yeah, because what you said to me wasn't in the right spirit. But I didn't take how you said it to me an issue. I knew I needed help. And you were where I wanted to be. Somebody ought to shout, shut up, and listen when you know you need help. That's right. They could say it different, but they're not saying it different, and you still need to hear. I tell my son all the time, when you go to school, you're not there for the teacher to be your friend. If the teacher ends up being a friend, that's a bonus. But the teacher don't have to be your friend.
That's right. They don't. Believe me, I know. Yeah. So that's a big one. A lot of people don't get. People shut off people because I don't like how he talks. I don't like how she talks. And here's the deal. Where are you trying to go in life? What's your next level? The truth is, your next level may be built. Your next level may be deep within somebody whose accent is a little bit too strong, and you don't prefer to deal with accent. People with accent, or a certain ethnicity. I don't deal with a certain ethnicity. Or your next level may be deep within somebody that
you wanna say that's just not how they do business. That's not me. Or how they talk to people. I'm just telling you, learn how to eat the watermelon, spit out the seed. Coach Tina, I'm going to say Tina Jones. What do you think about that point? Coach DeBorah, our time's up. Close us out with that.
Well, these were some great points. And if you missed any of it, you will have to go back and listen at it again. But these are phenomenal. 6 important things that we don't like to hear, and everything that we want to hear is not going to come to us the way we want it to come. You know, if you want roses, you got to get those thorns as well, right? Yeah. So these things that we talked about tonight are very essential and key to your success, and in those 5 areas of your life, being effective living and building your best life. So you need to listen. They said don't kill the messenger, but just take it with a grain of salt. I don't know why they talk to me that way, but it's okay. But glean from what they said, like Coach Miller did. We know that you need to be consistent.
Yeah,
that's going to help you. We want to make sure that we pass down generational wealth and explain to our young people exactly what it is, how we got it, what they need to do to keep it. And when push comes to shove and you think about all the things in life that are going wrong in your life, remember they all have one thing in common, and that's you. So I know enjoyed this session tonight. It was phenomenal. So please join us again on next Monday night for another session with Effective Living. And again, I'm Coach DeBorah Smith, Build Your Best Life. So you can reach me on my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org, and get all the information on when you can see our live broadcast. I have a blog that comes out each Monday, and you can get your autographed copy of my book, Build Your Best Life. And it is such a phenomenal book, and it is so goes along with this book here, Effective Living. I don't have the new pretty one, but it's still the book. The book.
Yes.
You need to get them and read them. But thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We enjoyed this conversation and the comments and feedback from you all. And thank you so much, Coach, for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you again. It's always a blessing. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.